Hey there everybody, this is Lee with Creative Two-Time Mom, and this video is going to be all about our port of call in Juneau, Alaska. So as I said, this was our third trip to Alaska, but it was the first time that we had all three kids with us. The last time we were in Alaska, Noah was 20 months old, and now we had a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 3-year-old. So we planned some different excursions this time than we would have last time. And our first excursion in Juneau, Alaska was to go kayaking. This was an excursion that we booked outside of the cruise line, and I'll tell you why. Most kayaking says that it's a minimum age requirement of 8 years old. Lydia was 7 years and 6 months. So we said, oh, okay, how are we going to do this? Plus, we were also trying to manipulate the time slots to go with some other excursions. So we booked directly with Above and Beyond Alaska. They were super accommodating. We had a group of about 10, I believe, all family, and that was one of their questions. They said, how is everybody else in the group going to feel about having a 7-year-old? Number one, is it physically possible for her to do this? And number two, is everybody else going to be okay with this? And that was one of the great things about booking outside of the cruise line, was you were able to have more of that personal contact. So we loaded up that morning. They picked us up at the dock in Juneau, which is one of the larger areas. And we had our own van. We had 2 tour guides that day. I want to say Rachel and Tobias. I know Tobias is right, but I'm not sure about Rachel. So they picked us up, they took us out, they got us outfitted, all the gear that we needed, and then they took us out to the point where the kayaks were. And we had 3 kids in the group. We had Noah, who was 9, Lydia, who was 7, and my cousin Natalie, who was 10. So they helped us figure out who needed to be with who. They were super great about, getting us in the water, helping the kids learn how to paddle, giving them very kid-friendly instruction. Fantastic. And then what we had booked was a 2-hour kayaking trip. They had no other bookings for the rest of that day. So for the same price as our 2-hour kayaking trip, they wanted to take us all over Alaska. Unfortunately, we had another excursion in the afternoon, but they were so accommodating. They were more than willing to take us all over the place, wanted to know what we wanted to do. Gave us a lot of control over what our kayaking trip looked like. They gave us some options of some different places to go within that allotted time, helped us set a pace that would be perfect for getting there and getting back in time, and very encouraging with the kids. Super, super great with the kids. So we took a kayak trip out to this little inlet island. We got out, we docked our kayaks there for a while, plus we spent some time on the beach, we collected shells. They were taking the kids around and showing them different wildlife there, showing them along the beach and different things to see. And then of course we paddled back. I really wish I had the footage from that day. As you know, our camera was lost from that morning, but it was just amazing. They were so good with kids. In fact, we were taking a hike back, because you kind of hike into the kayaks and hike back out, and they were wanting to take pictures of the kids everywhere. They were explaining what the wildlife was. That's Lydia, all the different plants and stuff, and so they were really great. I cannot recommend them highly enough. I will link them down below. We went back into town to get some lunch. We had just enough time to get some lunch, and we were going to go to Tracy's Crab Shack, but it was packed, and my mom and my cousin checked it out, and they were like, it's really overpriced for what you get. I didn't personally see it, but they didn't feel like it was worth the cost. So we stopped. There's a couple of food trucks along. If you just walk past the shopping just a tiny bit, there is some food trucks that are parked there. We got great, phenomenally wonderful fish and chips for lunch at a great price. Plus then I walked next door and got Lydia a burrito, because she doesn't do the fish thing. And their burritos were huge for the cost. So my tip for Juneau is skip the fancy restaurants, enjoy a beautiful day. It was gorgeous the day we were there, and hit the food trucks. Absolutely, absolutely. If you want to save money and have a great meal, go to the food trucks in Juneau. After that, we went back down to the docks, and we got picked up by Alaska Zipline Company, and they took us out and we ziplined that afternoon. The 10-year-old went with us. Noah was too nervous and Lydia was too young. So again, she had to be 8. But once we got out there, I was glad we didn't take her, because with my 10-year-old cousin, they still had to weigh her down. In her belt loop, they put some really heavy carabiner clips to weigh her down so that she'd be heavy enough to make it across. We had a great time. It was a lot of fun. They took a lot of photographs as we were doing it, which is a bonus, and then they will try to sell you a slideshow at the end. I think my cousin got one. We didn't, because I'm taking pictures all the time anyway, but if you don't want to worry about taking a camera with you, they will do that, which is a fun little bonus to having your zipline experience, is having somebody else worry about the camera and worry about the pictures. I believe there was 5 zips and a suspension bridge in that course. Now, they were good, it was fun, it was worth the money, but I would say that the company we went with in the previous trip was just my husband and I and my cousin Bill. We went when I was pregnant with Lydia. They were, not that they were better, but the course was better. And I looked up the name of that company because I wanted to give it to you. It was the Alaska Canopy Adventures, and I don't remember if we did Bear Creek or the Canopy, but it's the whatever course it was, it's the course that you actually go along the ocean. So with Alaska Zipline, you are in the rainforest the whole time, which is amazing, I can't complain, but you're in trees the whole time. With the Alaska Canopy Adventures, you're in trees, you're along the ocean, there's just more variety, and I believe it was longer. So I will link all those companies down below, but Alaska Canopy Adventures is my recommendation if you're going to zipline in Juneau. Of course, because we kayaked and had a wonderful morning, and then we ziplined in the afternoon, we had a completely full day. I didn't do any shopping in Juneau. I don't think Dave or the kids did either, but those were our tips and tricks. My mom did a lot of shopping, and you'll see all the shopping that's right there along the docks. If you are looking for a bathroom, this is a tip for Juneau. Just walk down a little ways and there is a public restroom next to a parking garage that's just at the end. There's like a public library there too, I think, and so there's a public restroom there, so go check it out. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you've ever visited Juneau, Alaska, and what you think you might want to do there. I'll talk to you later.